All right, hey everyone. Today I've got Tommy Watson in Orange County, California. And Tommy has a great story to share with you guys just about going through the program and getting hired. So Tommy, I'm going to let you take it away right now. Start with just telling us a little bit about your sales background.
Yeah, sales background was it's not traditionally I never essentially when I was real young I started my own businesses, and it was really small. It progressed from kind of selling little trinkets on eBay to branching out much. I would say relatively large. My business at its top was probably doing like $400,000 gross, and it was just me in
Wow.
the business. And
That's the real deal right there, man.
Well, it's different because some companies didn't look at that. Very a few between is like, okay, this is not the type of person we're looking for. Other companies would look at me like, why aren't you asking for an executive position? So I kind of fell in this middle ground where I didn't feel qualified for an executive position, and because I was kind of like a chief with no Indians, so to speak. You know what I mean? But I also wasn't sure if I like sales. I like, everything that comes along with sales. It's in my blood. But I wasn't sure how to kind of get into the industry specifically. How did I need to leverage my strengths and what I know and make it relatable to hiring managers, if that makes sense?
Yeah, that does. So you found Prehired. So you knew that you've got experience. You're kind of in this mid-level of a chief without Indians. I love that analogy. So what made you really consider what we were doing at Prehired?
I guess my one of my hobbies is like I don't watch TV. I'd rather go on the computer, like look at stuff, or maybe in my free time play a computer game. So software in general, really intrigued me because I was on the computer all the time and very familiar with it. I could never. I don't want to say never, but I wasn't developing my own software, but it intrigued my interest. The kind of closing year of my business, I didn't do a great job. Basically, the model I had wasn't sustainable enough to grow, and in a sense, it wasn't sustainable. So I was kind of in this position where I was losing more money a month than I was taking in, which is that's never good. So I'm like, okay, now it's time to kind of find something. And I started looking at software. And for whatever reason, maybe it's your Facebook targeting, taking notice of that, it kind of popped up. And it piqued my interest immediately.
All right. So yeah, and everyone knows you came into the program. You went through it pretty quickly. What were some of the things that really stuck out, though, out of the entire program for you?
Yeah. So let me say this. There's a lot of good stuff in there, and watching kind of the sales training gave me a pulse of kind of where I was and where I stood in regards to my level of experience, if that makes sense. It kind of gave me something to measure up to. It's like, okay, I know a lot of these concepts, but because I didn't have anyone, like a hiring manager over me or something like that, giving me external feedback, it was just me. I didn't know how to pulse it. So all that, it gave me an incredible background to, everything, and gave me a basis of, basically knowledge that I could compare to. That being said, what really stood out to me is I was applying for jobs probably off and on for like a year because I kind of saw the end of my business coming. And, like I'd get an offer, or, I'd send out a bunch of emails, maybe get one offer. And it was something I'm like, I could probably still make my business work. But basically the gist of it was that I wasn't getting a lot of responses to, not a significant number of responses to, resumes being sent out or something of that nature. The real, in my opinion, absolute game-changing thing for me, and it might be different for everyone, but I would suggest everyone look at that, is the automation tools, essentially, that Prehired gave me to not only track who opened my emails so I can see if this hiring manager did or did not receive my resume, but as well as the automated follow-up system that almost guarantees that you're going to get a response. I had a significant number of responses. Whether some hiring managers might have said no, but most were interested in scheduling an interview or doing phone interviews, as well as the prospecting and looking for jobs on kind of the sales social media sites, so to speak, such as LinkedIn, et cetera, and so forth. So those were the game changers for me.
Yeah, you said something, Tommy, that I hear a lot, and that's like from people is it's like you don't really know what you don't know, and it's like
Yep.
we have people at varying levels of sales experience. Like 80% of our members do have some experience, and that can range from a couple years. But we've got some people who've got 40. We got two people in the program that has 40 years sales experience, and they're still learning. And it's interesting that everyone comes in. And it's like everyone gets a little bit or a lot, but regardless if it's a little or a lot, it does make that difference in their career because that's the gap that was missing to get to the next level of what they wanted. So I loved how you were like, I knew when I saw this, I'm like, all right, I know this, but oh my gosh, this is a game changer. And yeah, the sales system and the automation, if you just follow it, that's why for anyone, so I'm going to do this plug for us. We guarantee you get hired, and if you don't, we do have a 100% refund policy for all of you guys and gals watching this video. It's for real. And we get our members, just like Tommy, have success in this program. And if you got more sales experience like Tommy, you can go for those better positions. But I tell younger members that if you don't have the experience, you'll still get hired, but you got to go for the more junior roles. So Tommy, and if you want to give a shout out to where you're at now, and you can do that. Like tell us like kind of what you're doing now at your company.
Yeah. And just to input, anyone who is thinking of jumping on board, if you're not, in my opinion, if you're not investing in yourself, you need to be, because just like Joshua said, if you don't know what you don't, and this is an analogy, like I use this all the time. I don't know what I don't know. And this is going to kind of fill that void. That being said, so I got hired with Broadly. So we're a software company in Oakland, California. And that's HQ in Oakland. We have positions down in Orange County. And essentially what we have is a simple customer follow-up platform that helps small business owners get more good reviews online so they look more competitive, which is a no-brainer. And then turn, essentially, if they have any negative feedback through the process, make it so they can work it out one-on-one with that person before it goes online. But for the investment, they're I don't know if we're able to talk about salary and stuff like that, but they give me a $50,000 base salary, which was great. I finished number 1 in my office last month. I'm number 3 in the company right now. I've been here 3 months for paying the fee, so to speak, or paying for the program was 100% worthwhile cost. I'm on track to do 120, somewhere between 110, 120 this year, which is great. But yeah, anyone looking to apply here, this is an incredible company. So if you do want to apply, make sure to shoot me an email, because you can send in your resume through Josh's system and you'll probably get it taken a look at. Absolutely. But if you have a guy on the inside saying, hey, I checked this person out, you're probably going to have a little bit more, likelihood of getting a response. So yeah, just email me. Is that okay if I share my email?
Yeah, I love how you're asking if it's okay. Yeah, that's completely fine. See, guys, This is live, but you didn't know we were going to talk about this.
I'm just making sure. I didn't want to step on anyone's toes. But yeah, email me at tommywatson@broadly.com. So just TOMMY, very straightforward, WATSON, no periods or anything. tommywatson@broadly.com. And I'm friends with the hiring manager. She's incredible. So we'll get you expedited.
Man, that's so much awesome stuff you just unpacked for everyone. So guys, you just heard it. Tommy's got a strong base salary, but more importantly, he's on. That just blows me away. You've been there 3 months. You're already in the top salespeople in the company. You're set to do 120, 110 this year. Your first year getting into that doesn't happen, guys. Because anyone who's talked to me on calls, I tell people to be realistic. You need to expect between 60 and 80 your first year, but if you're like Tommy here and you pick up the stuff and I love the mindset, because that makes the difference. If you're an ongoing learner, there's no reason why you can't hit 6 figures faster. But I tell people that normally you need to shoot for year 2 to be that. But for you, man, you're obviously doing well there. And you heard it from him. You want to apply, feel free to apply. I have a feeling, though, that if you go through our program and then talk to him, you'll have a much, much higher chance of doing it. So, guys, you got it right there. You got Tommy somewhere on the inside. But like he just said, if you guys want to enroll, go ahead and do that. And I'm going to actually mention one thing is we now have a free course. And Tommy probably didn't even know this. We launched this just recently. So if you want to find out about the free course, just go ahead and go on the website and ask someone about it. Tommy, thanks for sharing your experience, man.
All right. Right on, Josh. Thank you.